It has come to my attention that there is an elephant in the room. Look! Wow! Fascinating. Fascinating means very interesting. What is also fascinating or very interesting is that nobody is talking about it. Why is nobody talking about the elephant in the room? I only want to talk about the elephant in the room.
What's your best excuse? I'm just the elephant in the room. Do you really wanna be the one to make this so uncomfortable tonight? When you could be the one to set the record straight, you think it's not the perfect time. I wish I could be the one to make it easy, but I remind you that you're gonna hurt some feelings. So you slide around the issues and little. Heaven forbid you gotta dirty up the head. So I'm not gonna let this go. Don't know what you're waiting for. I'm not gonna let you go. So I'm just the elephant in the room. What's your best excuse? I'm just the elephant in the room. Better think this through. You don't wanna talk about your feelings. I'll be in the corner with the reason. I'm just the elephant. I'm just the elephant in the room. In the room. Be the darkest secret that you can't forget and keep back in your mind. So when people ask what's wrong with you, you can't explain what's killing you inside. I don't know why you gotta cheat on what you stand for. You try to look away, but I'm so big they ignore. I can lay off if you say so. A guilty conscience is obnoxious with no payload. So I'm not gonna let this go. Don't know what you're waiting for. I'm not gonna let you go. So I'm just the elephant in the room. What's your best excuse? I'm just the elephant in the room. Better think this through. You don't wanna talk about your feelings. I'll be in the corner with the reason. I'm just the elephant. I'm just the elephant in the room.
Hello, welcome back to Bridging the Gap. This is going to be another elephant in the room. I'm here chopping it up. Man, it's a lot of different names I use right there. I'm here chopping it up with Jermichael Mitchell, Mr. Community himself. How you been?
I'm well, sir. I can't complain at all, man. Yeah. Happy to be here with you today.
All right. Well, you could complain, but you won't.
Nah, facts of life.
You know. So speaking of such, what's going on in city politics that you know of?
Man. So the past couple of weeks have been fun, I would say. It's been exciting to see things. Of course, you know, last time we communicated, I had put my name in for City Council District 2 seat.
A lot of people watch that, even though they don't tell us they did.
Yeah. A lot of people seen that, man. We've talked about it on social media, different platforms. I think the biggest piece was I felt it was unfair, but we still move forward with the process anyway. You know, I've been told over time that we should trust processes, especially political processes. But it is well known locally now, especially that people have say that shouldn't have a say. And a lot of times people that are in position listen to those people instead of listening to their constituents or the people from the community. So, you know, we're still actively involved. We still have plans on running for mayor in 2027. But we also have we're going to be here to help people in 2026 with the county, Board of Education, and other elections as that as well. So I'm just getting acclimated, man. Watching the county council, watching the city council.
That's a lot to watch.
Yeah, man. It's a lot to watch, and I think more people need to watch.
Absolutely.
Right? Like I told you off air, man, more people are starting to follow. More people are starting to listen. And I think that's major because before people they weren't interested. And now a lot more people
I don't know if they weren't interested more than anything. Their voice mattered.
Right. That's
you know?
For sure.
I mean, you've been definitely a forerunner on getting involved, and I appreciate that sincerely. I I've got to say this. It seems like for a person as involved as you are, it seems like you get the short end of the stick a lot. What do you got to say about that?
I would say I'm not an agenda person, and
No, you're not.
I think a lot of people, when you think about party politics, a lot of local leaders follow agendas. A lot of local leaders listen to people who say they're not political, but they sit in powerful positions and still try to persuade our city's doings. They try to persuade the flow of what our city should look like, or what they have the vision for our city to look like, instead of listening to, again, the constituents. But short end of the stick, yes. I believe at times people don't go by the body of work, because I really feel like if you went by my body of work, if you went by my connections, if you went by the people,
Your involvement. How about that?
Yeah, I would be in certain positions. But we were just gonna continue to move forward, man. Like, opposition is a good thing. It builds character. It also sharpens your senses. It makes you study more. It makes you do things that you've never done before. So we gonna keep pushing forward, man, till I feel like I'm done. And I'm going to always be here to for the community until my last dying breath. But with the political thing, man, I don't got a long run. Again, I'm a local political lover. I'm someone who will always be involved in the media when it comes to local politics. But I don't know how much longer. I can't lie. I say I'm going to put myself up against the wall, if that makes sense.
Well, I definitely think you're making progress. I mean, even when we were talking about what happened with the city council, you also put a post out and you encouraged people to come out, and that room was full.
Yeah. Between my situation and a gentleman who
you also put out there.
Yeah. He's a friend of mine, man, and we still continue to see videos. I shared a video last night of a young lady who had some interaction with the police. And
what's going on with the police locally?
I would say that it's the climate of America, right? Not just locally, but in all places. No matter whether it's ICE or whether it's the city police. I seen a gentleman. I believe he had autism or something. He was very paranoid. Get shot in the back in Atlanta area by police officers.
Wow.
So it's 2026, and we still dealing with issues like that. I just believe, I think it's the training. I just got to be honest and real. I think people got to understand what they sign up for as well. When you sign up to be an officer, that's a dangerous job. And we want all of our officers to be safe and go home at night as well.
Sure.
But sometimes some of the situations that we're seeing, they don't have to go as far, right? If officers would handle it in a different component, which I also believe there should be a mental health training.
I was thinking that the whole time you were saying that.
Yeah, there should be some sort of...
Or more time off if need be.
Yeah. And that as well. But that becomes hard because, you got police forces in other towns that are starting to fizzle away because they don't have enough candidates to be involved. Man, I just think, sometimes there needs to be compassion training. There needs to be someone on the force that if I stop this person and I can't decide as an officer if it's a mental health situation, we can call said person to come to the scene to evaluate the situation, right? Sure. Because all situations don't need to be met with force.
Not all situations.
Right?
You're
in today's time
right.
period, with the studies that we know and the information that we have, a lot of mental health issues are out here. And again, we still want officers to be protected, and we want them to be able to protect people as well. But at the same time, I think it's a case-by-case situation. Like, them officers don't stop everybody like they stopped Pet. Them officers don't stop everybody like they stopped the young lady last night. They don't treat everybody like that. So they're capable of doing it. It's just picking and choosing when they do it.
Right, because there's definitely good officers out there. But
I know a couple.
I do too. Yeah. But my concern a lot of time is number one, time off when need be. How about this? Knowing your community.
Facts.
I've said before that, and I know people can say this is old fashioned, but back in the Mayberry type of way where your law enforcement was actually out there.
They were.
And people actually knew them. Like you ride through the neighborhood. I can even remember growing up myself, I knew the neighborhood police officer. Because, a lot of times he would just come through and crack jokes.
It was the beat cop.
Yeah.
We knew who he was. He was community oriented back then. I think the biggest piece And they do it at times for photo ops. Like I said, no
That's the
disrespect to them, man.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen officers get out, play ball at Doverdale. I've seen officers have events and give back to the community. I'm not taking that away from them at all. But it's not consistent. It's not on a regular basis where you're building relationships, where you're building rapport. And people know when things are fake. You get what I'm saying? Not saying the people doing it aren't genuine. It's just the amount of times that it's done isn't genuine. Right.
You know, I can say in my encounters with Sheriff Lewis, if more people were to embrace people like him, now, of course, some people would say, oh, that's not real. I've seen him, like, literally hug people, almost break their back hugging them.
For sure.
And he, you know, like during the parade, they said that the parade got kind of stalled out because he'd go and shake hands. Well, we need more officers that are out there to get out and shake hands with people. And you know, I actually had other police officers tell me that the problem that he's seen with police officers nowadays, a lot of times they'll pull up in the hood and they'll mean mug. It's no interaction unless it's an aggressive one.
None whatsoever. And Mike Lewis, again, I don't have any issues with Mike Lewis. I don't have any issues with any police officers. I just feel like the tyrants that work for police forces need to be dealt with, whatever that looks like.
Right.
And again, I've had my experience with police officers over time. I've seen said police officers be tyrants in my community. I've seen videos. I've seen it with my own two eyes. But I've learned over time when it comes to people. I've learned over time when it comes to people like Mr. Lewis and other officers. Talk about what's in common. Talk about things that are. I'm not
more
going
town
to
halls.
I'm not going to people off the rip. Maybe privately we can disagree, but in public it's not like I don't need to be. Like I said, I don't need to meet force with force. Have those good conversations that are going to get me somewhere, that are going to educate me, that is going to put my mind in certain places to think differently. And then, you know, if I have something that I need to bring to his attention elsewhere, then, you know, I do that off screen or I do that elsewhere. It's like...
Because I remember you actually, I think we was on a show a while back, you said that there was a function. Actually, I took a picture of that function you had over by YMCA.
Yeah.
And you actually had communication with the county sheriff's office. Correct. And they actually allowed you to do your own security and only call them when need be. That's what we need, more of that.
For sure. And like I said, they've always been good to us. No matter what our situation is, when we've done things in the community, whether it be the city police, whether it be the county police, they've always allowed us to police ourselves, right? And then again, if we need them outside of that, then we call and they show up. But they've never, of my events, again, I can't speak for others, but of my events, they've never like came and invaded or tried to make us feel less than or feel like, you know, they were policing us. They've never done that, man. That event that we had this summer at the park, man, was an amazing event. And again, man, with that many people out there, for nothing to have happened, was a blessing.
You know, there's one officer, I mean, I would know him if I seen him, but he was the nicest guy in the world. His name is Isaiah. There are officers that actually, like legitly are good ones, but unfortunately there are always, it seems to be the same names are the ones that are aggressive ones. Yeah,
man, like you see the videos. Like I said, a lot of times when you look at these videos, man, it's the same officers. Like I said, I mean, maybe that's just a coincidence. Maybe it's not. But a lot of times when you see these videos, man, you see the same faces in these videos doing these things. And that's the part where it becomes hard for me because if we have things like police accountability boards, if we have, and they're seeing these videos and these same faces are coming across, where's the accountability? Where is the holding them to the standard or the oath that they took? Because they should not be terrorizing our community. They should be protecting our community. They should be building relationships within our community. But again, man, when I'm watching these videos, it's the same people, and it's like, yeah, where's the accountability? What's the purpose of having an accountability board? What's the purpose of appointing people to these situations if they don't have no power?
Well, and then thank you for saying that about accountability boards. I don't know if the police officers, and I could be wrong. I don't know if they really respect those boards. I think it needs to be more like you're a community leader. There's a lot of people that you
I'll stop you there. I want to stop you on film because I'm glad you view me as that because I say this often. I don't feel like I'm a community leader. I feel like I'm a community influencer. Right? And
you're a leader, though.
I'll accept that from you. I'll accept that from you. But I had this conversation with another young lady from our community. I feel like once I get in a position of leadership, you know, I'll take that title. You get what I'm saying? But Now it's more like I'm an influencer, and even when I get in that position, that's how I would carry it. Because my objective would be to influence people's decisions, to influence people to see things different, to influence people to see the vision, to change people's minds about what politics normally looks like to what it should look like, especially on a local level, and to make connections. An influencer is able to meet people, shake hands, bring things to the area from outside of the area, such as Annapolis. But influencers, they're not people who, leaders are people who make you think they got it together. Make you think that everything they say is for the good of the people. And like you said, a lot of times our leaders don't even talk to their constituents.
Are those leaders or tyrants?
So I don't see them as tyrants, though. and I don't see them as tyrants because half of them don't go in their community, right? You get what I'm saying? So it's like a tyrant is amongst the people causing chaos and
That's a good point.
You get what I'm
Great
saying?
point.
These
Great
people
point.
don't leave their council seats. So it's hard to be a tyrant when you ain't even amongst the people to whether it's good or bad. It's
see what you're
difficult.
saying.
You get what I'm saying? So I think they think that they're political leaders, and that's the biggest problem. I always say this. Shout out to Miss Sharon Morris. One of the key things she told me when I first got, it's like 2014, 2015. One of the key things she said was, when you get involved in politics, don't become a politician. And that's why I always use the
Good
word
advice.
politician, politics, all of those things, because she said the objective of a person in politics is to better the local government for people. That's the objective. That's your main objective when you get in these positions. A person who considers themselves a politician, they're more about titles. They're more about the donkey and the elephant. They're more about colors, the red and the blue. They're more about agendas.
This is true.
Right?
This is
So
so
when
true.
you consider yourself a politician, which a lot of these people do, you'll tell a lie. You'll do some shady things behind closed doors.
We don't see that here locally.
And then guess what you'll do? You'll still look yourself in the mirror and look on camera and say that you're a leader for the people. And that's why I don't use that leadership word lightly. You know what I mean? Like, people might follow me because I'm a great influencer. People might start listening more because I share good information and they can fact check that information. But at leadership, I feel like when you put yourself in a position of leadership, such as you're supposed to hold yourself to a certain standard. People can then hold you accountable for your actions, and you're supposed to take accountability. So that's the biggest difference. And I guess I just wanted.
No, that's good.
Yeah. I just wanted to say that, man. Because a lot of people say that.
I want to add this.
Yeah.
Influencer, I like that because you are an influencer.
Yeah.
I feel like I influence people, and the
You
question
do.
is,
Show,
how are you
and the show
influenced?
influence people.
Well, we appreciate that.
Yeah.
However, now the thing on leaders,
Yeah.
you have elected officials, okay? Because here's the thing with me, for me also being a minister, I believe leaders. You can't just walk in and say I'm a leader. It is something that you have to earn. Now, if you were to ask one of those young people over the years that you worked with, they would view you as a leader.
For sure.
For a lot of people who get elected, they go in there, and some do have the right intention when they get in there,
Right.
but then they seem to. That's why I'm against career politicians.
Yeah.
You know. Now, here's the thing. My problem is, and the reason why I can't call some of the people that are on these councils, some of the people that are elected leaders, is because I truly think that they have made it a business. They have made it the good old boys or good old girls even. You know what I mean? They've gotten together with their little small group and said, this is what we're going to achieve. That's why you got lobbyists in politics.
Facts of life.
You know, and my bishop, he said a long time ago, he said, I got in politics once. It took me a while. It took me 2 weeks to get him off of me.
I got a friend, man, who and again, I encourage my friends. I encourage all people, and I'll say this publicly. If you are interested in politics, get with some good people. Don't look at what you see and think that's how politics is supposed to be. And then I would also say I've had friends, man, who I've tried to get in it, and they meet, like you said, my friend, man, it took him a couple months, and he was out. He was like, yeah, bro, that ain't for me. It's too much backdooring. It's too much being fake and phony. I kept trying to explain. You don't have to be that. They might not like me. I'm not well liked amongst a lot of people. But no one can call me fake. No one can say that I'm phony. No one can say I don't show up. It's a lot of things you could probably say about me, but those aren't the things.
You know, that's something that and a lot of people may not like when Colin said that, but he said the problem is a lot with political parties. I'm not gonna say which one.
Yeah.
What they don't like about you is you cannot be controlled.
Yeah.
You know, there are those that I believe if they could, and I'm not saying red or blue, if they could control bridging the gap, they would.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to be controlled because my controller is above.
For sure.
You know what I mean? But when people can play the puppet, now I think that's what's happened in local government for a while. I've actually was told, and I'm not going to use names because I don't have proof.
Thanks.
But I have been told that there is a group of people behind a wall that you may never see. That's the one running everything.
For sure. We've always spoken about that, man. Like I said, I won't, but you just pay attention to politics. Every time politics happens, these people hold forums. These people have events around politics. These people give awards for politics. You see it, right? Like it's
But they won't come out open and talk politics.
They will always tell you that they're not a political organization or a political group. They will always say that, but you will always see their influence on politics, right? Even certain families, you will always see their influence on politics. It was key because
That's interesting.
when I ran my campaign, everybody was like, campaign specialists and people from all over, you gotta raise money, raise money. And in my mind, I'm like, man, the way y'all keep talking about money, I see how a lot of y'all can be bought because everybody, you gotta run ads, you gotta do this.
Wow.
And one of the things, shout out to Kevin Lindsay. One of the key things that he was at first, a little iffy about it because again, he's from another county. He came here, thing, and in those areas, you gotta raise a lot of money to be seen, to be heard. I don't feel like that locally, and I didn't feel like that. And I got to ride with him because he was my campaign manager, man. And he was like, Mitch, if you really don't want to do it that way, we ain't doing it that way. And that's what I stood on. We didn't raise a lot of funds. You can go check it. We didn't raise a lot of funds. We still were able to reach a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Because it was organic, it was real, and I feel like a lot of people in politics can be bought, man, because they like you said, it's people playing puppeteers. It's people using them as puppets and making promises behind closed doors that you'll never hear. Like you said, we hear the rumors. We see the people. We see the finger, the thumb on it. But we do our best to keep pushing forward, man. Like we don't call them out. Like you said, we don't say names.
No.
I use it like the Harry Potter, man. Names that remain nameless. You know what I mean?
But everybody knows who we're talking about.
Correct.
Correct. But when we come back, we're going to actually talk about a couple of names because they're elected and and how they're affecting here locally.
Yeah, for sure.
Man, stay tuned. We'll be back in a moment.